So
Me too.
Caleb Borghini, Mr. Lamb, father of one.
Yes, my dad. I care about Doomsday.
He said it, folks. He said the line.
Here's the thing.
I don't care about it. Spider-Man's the only one I care about. I don't care. Why would you do that, Taco Bell? You're not getting any brand deals in the future.
No. Yes, you will. Please. Talk about
Bro.
please sponsor us.
Are we counting Marty Supreme?
No, that was Christmas Day. Marty Supreme, Christmas Day. Nope.
Cinema. Absolute cinema, bro.
I'm ascending, brother. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Real Friends. Thanks for being a real friend. I'm Caleb.
And I'm Cole. And today, we will be reviewing the long-awaited Odyssey by the Papa, the Master, the director of Tenet, starring John David Washington, Denzel Washington's son, The Odyssey. How do you feel about that, Caleb?
Dude, we are dressed up for this because when Christopher Nolan drops a movie like this, you don't just wear some T-shirts and record a podcast in your shorts, brother. No, you dress up. You put on your best for absolute cinema. Okay?
What are you wearing below that right now?
Just cargo pants.
I'm wearing shorts.
What about you? You're wearing shorts?
Yeah, I'm getting clowned on by you right now.
Okay, but it looks like we're dressed up for our Odyssey review. I'm so excited to finally talk about this movie.
It's interesting because, you know, you're wearing the Elwood hat that is perfectly matching your outfit. And I'm contrasting you with the sunglasses and the tie. Like, dude, we were meant to review this movie together.
Yes, it's so glorious, and our audio listeners are probably so confused.
We're wearing black and white outfits, and we look cool. So all three of you that are listening,
yeah, at absolute maximum, all three of you. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you for listening. But guys, I got a big piece of news. Of news, and I have to put the microphone down to show you. And I'm not sure how well this is going to work in practice, but also here we go.
What is he going to unveil?
It's not that dramatic, but I just found this and I was
Our
like,
audio listeners are so confused again. It's okay.
What does that say? That says
9
o'clock. Caleb, what time is it now?
8.
Yeah.
He's setting the time.
Folks, I am back in Missouri. This is a visual representation of that.
Dude, that was nice, bro.
That was so stupid, but I couldn't stop thinking about it when I saw the clock was an hour ahead. I was like, all right, I got to do this on the podcast.
It's like Tenet because time went backwards. Literally,
the opening scene of Tenet, right before Tenet pops on the screen, the bad guy, he winds down a clock, and
it's fire.
It's fire. It's an amazing scene. So everything comes back to Papa Christopher Nolan. I didn't even plan that. In time is cyclical. So here we are. But yes, I'm back in Missouri. But luckily, I got to see the Odyssey right before I left Florida. I got to see it with the boys. And my only disappointment is that I didn't get to see it with Borghini.
Oh, I wish, dude. That would have been so glorious.
It would have been beautiful, but I'm glad we got to see it separately but equally. And you're
absolutely cooking your audio right now, bro.
Oh shoot, my fault, dog.
It's okay.
I was trying to unscrew it. I had to have a little thing to set it down on, but
no, it's all good.
We saw it separately, and I think it's probably for the best because it's really fun to see each other's reactions like this.
It is. We have not talked about what we think of the Odyssey yet. I have no idea what Cole thought. Cole has no idea what I thought. This will be our first time hearing what each other thinks right now live on the pod. So, are you ready to hop into this thing or what are we doing?
I think this entire episode is just going to be discussing the Odyssey and probably Chris Nolan a lot. We don't have anything else planned, so we're just going to be talking, and that's the way I want to do it. That's the way I want to do it with a Papa Nolan. So Caleb Borghini, Mr. Lamb, father of one.
Yes, my dad.
What's your score?
All right. My score for the Odyssey is 8.9.
Bro was really thinking about it. That's a great score right there. That's a great score.
Now I need to hear yours. I need it.
Honestly, I think my score is like an 8.5 to an 8.9 as well. I don't think I can give it quite a 9.
Yeah.
But
yeah, me too.
It was absolute cinema.
Yes.
Even if it's not like his best movie, it might be his best movie, and I don't really know how to explain that.
Yes.
I don't know how to explain
that.
I'm
100% with you, dog. I am with you, bro. On a craft level alone, this
100%.
movie is like maybe the greatest achievement in film.
Bro, the scale that this thing was filmed at, and the cast, the crew, the fact that he was able to do it before or under budget, and he didn't have to extend
early,
shooting.
like not
early,
not,
early. He did it early and under budget in true Chris Nolan fashion.
Yep.
How does that happen, bro? How does that happen when full-on Marvel and DC movies with bigger budgets, sometimes they just get scrapped? Yep. I don't get it, bro. Dude, man's a master at his craft.
Yes, this is the first film ever to be shot 100% on IMAX cameras. Completely new film technology was developed to shoot this movie like this. Everything you saw in this movie, or didn't see if you haven't seen it yet, excuse me, is 100% shot on location, and there is zero CGI in this entire movie. So in the trailers, when you see people on boats in the middle of the ocean, they're on boats in the middle of the ocean. When you see...
go ahead. And when you see some weird Cyclops type stuff in a cave, and Matt Damon looks like an ant, bro, completely practical and real. That is insane to me.
Yes, bro. It like just on a craft level, this movie is insane.
And there's some scenes that we'll get into whenever we actually do spoilers, but there's one scene I just need to know. I just want to get into Nolan's brain and like maneuver his face around and say, "How did you do that? How
I want to be in there."
How badly do you want to be in there?
Probably like 60%.
60%. Wow, you're gonna have to talk to his wife because that's a little high.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But dude, I got to fill you in on this because my Odyssey experience was probably way different than your Odyssey experience.
Okay.
And see, it was pretty rough, bro.
Really?
First, I didn't get to see it on IMAX. I know. I didn't get to see it on IMAX. But if I wanted to see this in Florida, yeah, you can spit on me. Spit in my mouth. I wanted to see this with the boys in Florida. And I kind of abandoned seeing it up until like the week before because I was stressed about moving. I wasn't even sure I was going to stay the whole week. So I didn't buy tickets. And then I was like wrangling around, and then me and Caleb were talking, and we're like, if we're going to do the podcast on it, I have to see it before Sunday when I get home.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I got to go pull the trigger. And somehow I found a Cinemark that had 4X. It's not one of the moving. It's not one of those. It's called 4X.
Oh, I'm thinking of ScreenX.
Whatever it is, I'm not talking about the one that like has motion seats and wind.
Yeah,
but I was extremely paranoid that I bought those tickets after I bought them because I don't understand how I got a 6:45 p.m. showing of the Odyssey on the 16th, the day before the movie comes out. I was baffled that I even found this. So I bought 7 tickets for me and the boys. And the only difference between IMAX and a Cinemark 4X is it's not the aspect ratio that you get in an IMAX screen. Right. So I missed out on a lot. But my experience was still phenomenal in terms of the cinema quality, the theater. It was great. If only I had the aspect ratio of an IMAX. But that's not even the problem. Thursday, I started moving. I started packing up all my stuff, and it was a freaking hectic day. I went to pick up the moving truck at 7:30, and I didn't leave there until like 10 o'clock. Bruh. All kinds of problems getting this thing signed over to me. And then we didn't even start unloading the vehicle until 1 p.m. So we were racing against time.
That's rough.
Once we got everything loaded, we went over to Ryan's house and picked him up because he was right next to the theater. And Ben was like, bro, can we get Taco Bell? And Ryan was like, yeah, Taco Bell is literally right across the street from the theater. No problems. Movie starts at 6:45. We get to Taco Bell.
Did you get the diarrhea parasite?
No, I wish we did. At least it would have been worth it.
Real.
When we get to Taco Bell, 6:20. What time? And my movie starts at 6:45. What time do you think I left Taco Bell?
What time?
No, I want you to guess. What time?
6:40?
No,
What time?
I don't even want to tell you.
What time?
7:15.
No. 30 minutes after your showtime? So previews have to be done.
So I was texting my buddy Chris, who was spamming me like, bro, where's my ticket? Can I get in? And I sent him his ticket, and he was in there. Bro was updating me live. First trailer, second trailer,
Oh my gosh.
third trailer. Somehow we got up to 6 trailers. I don't think I've ever been in a theater that's had 6 trailers, like for a blockbuster movie like this. Usually it's 1, 2, 3, you're done. 6 trailers. And Tristan was late too. I don't understand how Tristan was late. He was just walking around the mall. So I was like, dude, what are you up to? It was pretty funny.
So funny.
So we roll in. Movie started. I was so ashamed. But Ben demanded his $6 Taco Bell. His was the only order that was behind. So,
oh my gosh. So but you got in there before the movie started?
No, we got in there like 15 minutes late.
Wait, yeah, so you didn't see the first 15 minutes?
No, I popped in. I couldn't even tell you what scene it was because I was so lost and discombobulated. I know. My Odyssey experience is cooked. It's cooked from the jump. But even if that happened, right? I started to lock the flip in whenever it cuts to Matt Damon for the very first time.
Yeah.
Like his story, that's when I was like, okay, cleanse the palate. I'm not trying to learn anything else. I'm not trying to pick up context clues.
Yeah.
I'm on my own journey. I'm on my own Odyssey with Matt Damon.
Just embark on the Odyssey.
And I could have chosen to be really mad, which I was really mad because this is like most anticipated movie. Yes. And I'm late to it. I would never allow this to happen. If it was me, I would have just gone. But paid money for it. I get it. I understand it. But it was so frustrating that we were late to the movie. So it was so hard to follow along with what was going on. And I heard at the end of the movie that it opened with freaking Travis Scott. Dude.
It did indeed. Oh, wait, we can't spoil it. We can't spoil.
Okay, it doesn't open
but everyone
with Travis
knows
Scott.
It doesn't open with Travis Scott.
It doesn't.
Everyone knows he's in it. Everyone knows it's fine.
But basically, I already had a weird experience going into it because of freaking Taco Bell. So I'm excited to see it again on the Branson IMAX screen because it's one of the best screens in the Midwest. So I'm gonna be locked in. I'm probably gonna go see that either this week or next week. But that's how my experience started, and it was a great theater experience. But there's my little Odyssey story before we even get into the review. So I'm already cooked a little bit. I'm cooked a little bit.
That really sucks. I did not have that experience. I also did not. Unfortunately, I did not see this movie in IMAX either. I wanted to, but whenever tickets went on sale, because I bought tickets like when they went on sale, I could not get IMAX tickets. So I got Cinemark as well, XD, which might be the same thing. I don't know.
We had the exact same theater experience then.
Which it was great. Like Cinemark XD is great.
It's phenomenal.
It's not IMAX, but it's still a big screen. It's bigger than your like standard screen, and the sound quality is great. So like honestly, no problems. I loved it. But
I agree.
I got to see the whole movie, so I am very grateful for that. Man, where to even start with this movie? So, okay, 8.9 for me, 8.5 to 8.9 for you. So, a lot of people came out of this movie calling it like Christopher Nolan's masterpiece. A lot of people were like, this is his best movie ever made. I don't know if I'm in that camp. I honestly really feel like I need to see this movie again to absorb it.
Yeah.
Fully. It's
completely
a 3-hour movie. Like, it's long.
Yeah.
So it's a lot on the first viewing. But I love the movie. I thought it was freaking awesome. The best parts are just watching Odysseus and his crew just everything they go through, bro. And I really appreciated that, kind of in signature Christopher Nolan style recently, the story is kind of not told chronologically.
Yeah.
It jumps to different points in time, different storylines, locations, and I think it actually services the movie really well. I'll talk more about that, spoilers, but off the gate, I'll just say Matt Damon, dude. Matt Damon is freaking amazing in this movie, bro. He is awesome.
Yeah, dude, Matt Damon killed it, and you could really see the conflict he had with the entire situation that he brought upon himself throughout the whole film. And I loved the way that it was developed, his kind of character motivation and the pitfalls that he had. And in the last act, whenever he's having a specific conversation, which we'll get into later, it really just reveals exactly why he's going through the exact things he's going through.
Totally.
And that was such it felt like a twist, even though it wasn't. And that is pretty phenomenal to me, that like the story just unfolded and unpacked so beautifully in one conversation at the very end. And it like kind of puts a lot of things into perspective for you. Mm-hmm. And to go back to your 3-hour long conversation or topic of conversation, I didn't even realize it was that long of a movie.
That's because you missed the first freaking third of the whole movie, bro.
Okay. 15 minutes is not a third. What is your math?
I was homeschooled.
Yeah, I know you were. Okay? I shouldn't even be arguing with you. Don't stoop down to the level of fools.
Just keep going.
So it didn't feel long. There was a little bit where it started to drag in the middle of the movie. And I think that's part of the film. I think that's part of the story, and it's impossible to get out without it feeling like it's dragging a little bit, because this is the Odyssey, and we can explain that later.
Yeah.
But that was probably the only pacing problem that I had with it, was a little bit in the middle. But the second you get into that third act, bro, the second you can tell when the third act starts. If this was a Quentin Tarantino movie, the third act would pop up on the screen.
Yep.
And it would just be so clear. And the second that happened, I remember I looked over and this was Tristan. He was leaned forward, bro. It was like the docking sequence in Interstellar. There's this really funny meme for the docking sequence in Interstellar.
Cool, keep going.
Do I need to explain that?
No.
Our viewers will know what we're talking about. But there's this really funny meme of like this guy's like, okay, so I'm watching Interstellar right now, and the dude next to me just leaned forward 90 degrees during the docking sequence. Should I be worried?
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So that was us pretty much during the entire third act. So that was a really, really, really strong third act. I can't speak to act one, but when I got locked in was like 15 minutes in, whenever Matt Damon was just killing it.
You can't talk at all about act one because you didn't see it.
Yeah, it wasn't my choice. We're blaming Taco Bell. Ben went back there and Karen'd him. He said, "Hey, are you guys working on my order?" And they were like, "Yeah, bro, you can't be behind the counter." It was so uncomfortable. It was so weird.
Yikes, bro. That's some awkward Taco Bell confrontation if I've ever heard it.
So just blame Taco Bell for the lack of Act 1. But don't worry, I'll be seeing this movie like probably 3 more times. So I'll give you a re-review of Act 1.
Okay, can't wait. I gotta say, this is like, it's been said a lot, but you should see this movie in a theater. This
100%.
movie is the most theatrical movie ever made, dog. This movie you should see on the biggest screen you can, best sound quality, and really experience it, because it is amazing, dude. Okay, let's get into like the main cast. So we talked a little bit about Matt Damon. He's incredible. Other leads, you got Tom Holland playing telephone.
Can we call him telephone? Telephone.
Yeah, let's call him
telephone.
Telephone.
Yeah, we got him playing telephone. I don't know any of the names. I'm not gonna lie. We have Tom Holland as telephone. I'm not gonna rename anyone else because I couldn't even tell you what their names start with. That's not true. Penelope is Anne Hathaway. I do remember that. Okay. And then we have Robert Pattinson as the little simp boy, and he crushed it. I despised him every second he was on screen. He was such a little snake. I loved him. And then we have I forget his name. The blind guy. Yeah. Oh, he's such a good. I think he was in Memento, if I'm not mistaken. Nice. I think he was like one of the 3 leads in Memento. So I forgot he was a Nolan diehard. So
He was awesome.
He was really good. And then you have Charlize Theron, which or Theron, however you want to say that. And I forgot that she was in it until she popped up on screen. I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
I'm not even
Calypso.
mad. Yeah, Calypso, and she crushed it. Zendaya, all of these things.
Zendaya crushed.
And here is the thing that I think is a big takeaway for me with this cast. We probably missed some people, but I don't really care. It was not that big of a deal that all these actors were in it. And I think that was one of the few things the internet, or not one of the few, but this was one of the biggest things the internet was complaining about for no reason. The casting wasn't a problem for me. Not at all. And maybe it's because we all already knew that they were going to be in it, so it didn't feel like random cameos popping in over and over and over again. And maybe that's why. But it never really took me out of the film.
No, not at all. Because they're all great actors.
Yeah, and they all absolutely crushed their roles. Who did you think gave the best performance in the movie? And you don't have to say what scene. Oh, you think Matt Damon? I think it was
Matt Damon. Who do you think? I mean, Robert Pattinson crushed it.
Yeah.
Or Anne Hathaway crushed it, but the one person I'm thinking of who maybe in that list weirdly is, I don't know her name. I don't even want to, I feel like talking about her is a spoiler. The lady, it relates to animals. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, yeah, 100%. She killed it. I think Anne Hathaway had the best scene in the movie.
Really?
I think so. I was freaking flabbergasted by this scene, and you probably know what scene I'm talking about. But
yeah, dude, she definitely crushed.
I
will say,
phenomenal.
Yeah, Tom Holland, he did a great job too. Here's the thing. Tom Holland, right? Big movie star, obviously Spider-Man. He has been in a lot of blockbusters, and he gets a lot of hate, especially before this movie, because people think he's not like a real actor and he's not a good actor and all this stuff because he's like a superhero and like in big movies, right? But I've always been in the camp of Tom Holland is an incredible actor. And even his performance as Spider-Man, he does incredible work, bro. Like you think about some of those dramatic scenes in Homecoming, Infinity War, No Way Home, he gives great performances, everything. And then I know he even did some more projects that we've talked about recently where he also crushed it. And then he gets cast in a Christopher Nolan movie. And people are roasting him, being like, why is this guy in a Christopher Nolan movie? Like he's not even a real actor. Tom Holland is an incredible actor. He absolutely deserved to be a lead in this role. This might be a hot take. I wish they gave him more to do in this movie.
Shake my hand.
Bro.
Shake my hand.
Bro, we're shaking hands on that.
I came out of this theater, and I think one of the biggest complaints that I had was Telephone's story as a whole. And I don't think that's a Tom Holland problem because I like Tom Holland, and I think he did good. I don't think the script gave him a lot to work with because I didn't really care about his character. And we'll have to get into that later when we do spoilers, but I think he was the weakest part of the movie in the cast.
Oh, really?
I think he was the weakest part of the cast.
Like his character, or do you mean him as an actor?
No, I don't. I'm not complaining about his acting because Tom Holland can cook, and there are certain Christopher Nolan actors or just parts, specifically parts, not movies, but there's parts that can be pretty cringy, super dialogue or super exposition heavy. And Odyssey kind of does that in the beginning because there's so much stuff they have to explanate. I don't know what the proper word is for that, but they tell you're learning a story, and there's so much lore that they have to tell you it. And I'm pretty sure that's what like Travis Scott was doing in the very beginning, right? That's something that I missed.
So. He was like a man, a guy, a Matt Damon,
a war,
straight up,
a Travi Patty Sprite. So basically, a McDouble. So basically, there's a lot of exposition going on, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. However, Tom Holland's performance wasn't bad. I just don't think he was good enough to do on screen, kind of like what you said. So I just didn't really care about anything he was doing, not going to lie, up until kind of the third act of the movie when it kind of redeemed him. But even then, I didn't love... and
again, no fault of his. It's just kind of it's kind of what he was given, and I wanted to care about him more, like you're saying. I wanted to be like locked in on him and on his story, and I wanted to see like Tom Holland be able to like fully go in, and he did great with what he was given. It just wasn't that much, and honestly, this was a big thing coming out of it for me. Is like in this movie, I kind of expected like everyone and everything to be in the Oscar conversation, right? Because Oppenheimer swept the Oscars the year after it came out, right? You got Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, like everything, right? And it was just like insane. And I kind of expected this movie to have like a similar effect. And honestly, bro, I could see it winning a few awards, but I don't see it sweeping like that. Because, I mean, Matt Damon did an amazing performance, especially with like what he had to go through in real life to do this movie, all the grueling locations and scenes they had to do. But I don't know if he's going to win Best Actor. And I could see it winning Best Picture 100% because of just like the achievement of it. But I don't think it's like the best acting that has ever happened in a Chris Nolan movie. I think like something like Oppenheimer and Interstellar, just off the top of my head, have more to chew on when it comes to like the acting.
Yeah, I think Oppenheimer is higher on my list just in general. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how to explain it, and this is going to sound really stupid. It's the only way I can think to say it. And I don't even know if I agree with this yet. I haven't fully fleshed this thought out. But my brain is saying when you're watching Oppenheimer, you're watching a film. You're looking through like a film camera. You're locked in. There's like really intense stuff going on. I'm just getting like the word film. And I always say this, there's difference between films and there's difference between movies. And I don't ever want to call the Odyssey a movie because that's kind of an insult. I don't think this movie is as much of a film as Oppenheimer was. And I don't know how to say that because it was larger. It was on a larger scale than Oppenheimer was, and it was phenomenal. Yeah. But I felt like I was watching film more than I was in Oppenheimer than I was in the Odyssey. Does that make any sense? Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
It's like this felt more grandeur. This felt more grandeur and more blockbustery.
100% agree with that. It does feel more blockbustery, and it's still great. Don't get me wrong, but I think Oppenheimer hit me in a lot more ways than this movie did. You know, I wanted to go there emotionally more and with more characters, and you definitely do, especially I think like the third act like kind of punches you in the gut in like a really good way. Yeah. In a really like heartbreaking way. But I don't know. I did think there was something to be desired there, but you know, I still think there was a lot of greatness in this movie. Again, I think just watching the journey and everything Odysseus goes through and kind of his emotional journey and his crew's emotional journey is really great. Yeah. I think Robert Pattinson and the stuff that was going on back home in Ithaca and the kingdom, bro, was awesome. Robert Pattinson is like perfect casting to be like the villain because he is, oh, dude, you want to like punch this guy in the face so bad. But then you go and watch Robert Pattinson as like Neil in Tenet or like as Batman and you root for him and he's awesome. And then bro flips a switch in this movie and is the most awful person ever, dude.
Yeah, dude, Robert Pattinson has some incredible range, and I'm very excited for his new movie Primetime to come out about Dateline. Have you seen anything about that? I saw a trailer
before this movie. I'd never heard of it before that.
Dude, that is one of the best trailers I've seen in a hot minute because it is so creepy, and it just, it sets the tone. I'm excited for that.
I'm excited for that, too.
And Robert Pattinson is phenomenal. I don't even think he's underrated anymore. I think he's adequately rated in film, and I'm so glad bro got out of the Twilight Zone, literally. So that's pretty fire. That's pretty fire. Do you want to get into spoilers?
Did you write that down before this?
No, I just came up with that live on the cuff.
That's actually pretty impressive. Yeah, let's get into spoilers. So, again, I feel like we got into a lot of negatives, but it's hard to talk about the positives without getting into spoilers.
100%.
But we love this movie. Definitely
Yeah.
recommend if you're for some reason wondering our opinion on this movie and if it's at all going to affect if you go see this movie. We both think you should.
100%.
It's great.
If there,
It's
like
great.
Caleb said earlier, if there's a movie you should see in cinemas, this is that movie. Even if you're seeing it on a standard screen, which I don't recommend, go see it.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll still look great.
It's going to look great. It's going to sound great. You're going to be missing out on a lot if you don't see it in an optimal theater. And me and Caleb didn't even see it in the optimal theater, but it was still phenomenal. So go see it, spend the money, talk to your friends about it, gain perspective, and don't listen to the freaking internet whenever they say this movie's stupid before it even drops. Ridiculous.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I 100% agree with that. Go see this movie. This movie just has like a feel to it that feels like, in a good way, like old to me. Like, not old as in like the time period the movie takes place in. Old as in like, if you just want like a good like movie with a great story that's epic, like this is that, and you don't get that as much anymore. That kind of just works for anyone.
Yeah, it feels like a classic movie that your parents would turn on that like you wouldn't want to watch, and then you're watching it and you're like, dude, this is so fire. Like a classic old school film. That's I kind of understand what you're saying there.
Yeah. But anyways, all right, we're going to jump into spoilers for the Odyssey. So if you haven't seen this movie, please turn this off. We do not want to spoil it. We think you should go see it, but we are going to talk about a lot.
100%. 100%.
What should we jump into first?
Oh, I don't even know, bro. Let's just talk about the photography real quick, because that's not a point that we really need to discuss, but I want to highlight it because from the trailer, I know we were both super hype about the coloring and the photography and the fact that this was all shot on location, all of that stuff. But to really see that in every single frame on the big screen with the sound design, oh, bro. No one does it better. No one does it better. And there wasn't the typical Nolan problem where you can't hear any of the dialogue.
Yeah,
you
bro.
understood
It's loud and clear.
Everything. It was fire, bro. There was no Tenet where it's just the freaking Ludwig playing a banjo pitched up 100 times. Going, you know, none of that.
Yeah,
and
then it's like 100 dB. Am I right?
Yeah, that's good. Here, throw me some.
They keep getting, okay, we're going to knuckle.
That was a sympathy one. But the photography in this movie was just unmatched. And Hoyt Van, whatever his name is, cooked again. He will forever
respect him. Say his name right. Say it. Don't look it up. Say it.
I don't know how to say it. Hoyt Van.
Say the whole name.
I don't know his last name.
I don't know it either.
Shut up.
Yeah, he crushed it, bro. The fact that they shot inside of that Trojan horse is insane.
I guess they kind of had to. Yo. Yeah.
They did. They talked about it. Christopher Nolan, the cinematographer, and the actors were all inside that horse.
That's crazy. The fact that they stayed in that horse for however long they did just to like sneak in, and the straws and them having to like use the bathroom on each other, all that stuff. And you know what I mean? They didn't show that, but that was obviously what had to happen in there.
Yeah. I actually,
that's disgusting.
You know what? I was gonna
disgusting.
treat you like a freak for saying that. I did think about that.
Yeah, I mean that's
I did
horrible.
think about that.
Did they not discuss that in the movie? Is that something we discussed outside of the? Okay,
that's just something you thought of.
That's what they had to do. They were in there for God knows how long were they in there? A week, 2 weeks?
I don't, bro. What do I look like? Some freaking guy who knows the answer?
You should.
Yeah,
you're wearing a suit.
They were in there
suits.
for a while. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we are wearing suits. We look like we know what we're talking about.
Fair, but yeah, just the photography of this movie was insane, and the scale that they shot this, every scene looked gorgeous, and the fact that they shot it all on 70 millimeter makes me so excited for my IMAX experience, because I know I'm not getting any stupid aspect ratio changes, nor am I getting any stupid aspect ratio changes on the 4K whenever I buy it, because that is my number one pet peeve when it comes to watching Christopher Nolan at home, is when it cuts to and from widescreen in theatrical. I hate it. You ever deal with that?
I actually feel completely opposite, and I really like aspect ratio changes in movies. I actually prefer it to like a whole movie being in IMAX.
Really? Why?
Yeah,
You don't want the full screen?
because it's cool. No, because if they do the full screen only for like big sequences, to me it feels more special.
Okay, that's fair, but it also is jarring. It's also a jarring change when the aspect ratio is changing back and forth.
I don't think it's jarring at all, but I respect it.
Okay,
I just don't agree.
I agree. Okay, fair enough. I respect your opinion because it makes sense, but I don't agree. I think it really bothers me. So
that makes sense.
Hear you on that.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my take on the photography.
You know what I want to talk about?
What?
The aura of this guy,
The helmet?
Benny Safdie, bro.
Wait, run it back. I forgot Benny Safdie was in this.
He's
Who was
this
Benny
guy.
Safdie? Who?
This guy.
Wait, was he the guy in the underworld who took off his helmet? The king?
Yeah, the guy. Yes, the guy with the black helmet, the black everything.
Bro,
and he's the reason this whole entire war happened.
I didn't realize that was Benny Safdie, bro.
Yes,
It's so underrated.
Dude, the scene when they are charging through the gates, and bro is all these men, hundreds of men running, and he's just walking, bro. Oh, bro, the aura he had, bro. That was like Darth Vader level aura of just that walk, bro, and how freaking evil his character is, bro. Oh my gosh, dude.
How evil is he aside from the fact that they broke the unspoken rule that you don't do what they did? Like, how is that how evil he is?
So, okay, bro, I'm glad you asked. So, there's many reasons why this guy's super evil. Now, it kind of touches the actual like political kind of tensions of these different kingdoms. I didn't really track with that very well, but what I do know is that he wanted to go storm Troy, and the reason why Odysseus and his army join his forces with him and help him is because he said that he was going to kill Odysseus' son, Tom Holland, if they don't fight the war with him. And then Anne Hathaway in a flashback is like, let's just run. Let's us three get on a boat, our fastest boat, leave, all that stuff. And he says that he knows that this guy will absolutely obliterate their kingdom if they leave it, but if they stay and don't fight, he'll kill Tom Holland's son. So the whole reason Odysseus goes is to save his son from being killed. And then this guy also, I don't fully understand why, but this guy like sacrificed his own daughter for this war too.
Is that why the wife killed him?
Yeah. Because he sacrifices his own. It has something to do with all the different, like, I think, gods and stuff in this movie, but he sacrificed his daughter to do this. And then, bro, I mean, you see in the third act what they go in there to do. They go in there to destroy this place, right? And all the innocent people who are just citizens of Troy, they go and they're doing all this horrible stuff to them, bro. Like, that is this guy.
Yeah, that's so fair. I'm glad you explained that to me, because whenever that conversation with Matt Damon and Anne Hathaway were happening, I was so confused. I'm like, who are you running from? Why are you running? And I didn't realize that bro sacrificed his daughter, so I was confused why his wife stabbed him in the throat. So was that all lore in like the first 15 minutes of the movie that I missed?
I think so. I think you missed it. Yeah. So he explains all this to his. Oh, you missed that scene. That's a good scene. It's a flashback, and it's him and Penelope and Telemachus, Tom Holland's character, but he's like a little kid because it's like a flashback, and he's kind of laying on the floor playing, and they're talking, and he's like gearing up to go on this war, and she is like, why are you doing this? Why are you gonna go? And he explains everything I just told you to her. Like, I have to. Like, there's no out, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't even want to go fight this war, but literally he's being forced to.
That's crazy. Yeah, dude. I'm low key kind of
Dang,
glad.
you got to see it again.
I'm glad that I missed part of it because I get to go experience it again and learn new information.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
this is like completely unrelated. And I know you don't watch Game of Thrones, but one of my favorite parts of Game of Thrones is that there's so much lore in the world that you don't know, that when you watch it the first time, you're confused and you slowly have to pick up pieces. When you watch it a second time, you know the names, you know the cities, you know all the conflicts, and you're like, oh, the politics of this, they make sense now. And now that I have some of the lore, I'm really excited to go back in, because I guess I could have educated myself on the Odyssey, but I kind of wanted to go in blind, and I did. So now my next viewing, I'm like, ooh, I know who you are. I know what's going on here.
I'm excited for you to experience that. And on that note, this actually leads me to one of my biggest criticisms with the movie.
Great. Hit me, Batty.
This is probably not the only reason, but the biggest reason this isn't like a 10 out of 10 for me is I wish that we got to see more in the past and kind of got to have more of a history with and a context for some of the characters and for Ithaca in general, because we see kind of what happens to Ithaca when Odysseus leaves, right? There's a kind of a power vacuum. Everyone wants to be king. Everyone wants Penelope's hand in marriage. She's delaying it as much as she can. But now all these awful men, these suitors, have kind of just taken over and turned Ithaca into this really horrible place where they treat people like garbage, animals like garbage. They just are awful, right? I wish I got to see more of Ithaca before everything, when Odysseus was in charge, so that it really drove home how bad it actually got. Because, yeah, you see that it's bad, but how much worse would it have been if you got to see the really great peaceful kingdom where everyone is following Zeus's law, everyone's treating someone with respect, and you see this great kingdom, and then Odysseus is gone, and now you see this horrible place. And I think just even like a scene or two that kind of focus more on that, I think would have really helped.
I completely disagree.
Really?
Yeah, that was not a problem for me at all. I feel like this movie was already super long, and it needed to be long. But that's not really the point, in my opinion, of this movie. The politics and all of that stuff that was going on in Ithaca, that was like the cherry on top. Right? That was the fun. You got to like think a little bit. You got to engage. But the heart of the story is him getting home, bro. I was glad that I was like pretty hyped that we didn't see anything from the Battle of Troy up until the point where we did. And that I felt like was actually good for a flashback, because it gave us a lot of insight as to why he doesn't want to go home and why he's kind of sabotaging himself this entire journey.
Yes.
And that right there is good to me. But I didn't really need to see Ithaca beforehand, because I don't really care. I understand what you're saying. Like, maybe you do want that for a little bit of context, but that was never what the movie was about for me. That was just kind of the fun part to engage my brain.
I feel that, and I get that. The only reason I say that is because while I know that the story is about Odysseus and him getting home and everything kind of he went through, I do think a lot of the third act focused on taking down the suitors and like fixing the kingdom. And for me, I think I would have felt it was a little bit more rewarding if we got to see what it was like before, when Odysseus was in charge, because I think that is also a reflection of his character. Like, when you get to see, because like the Tom Holland story, it's all about kind of this coming of age thing where he's supposed to become a leader and eventually becomes the king, right?
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, oh, you need to become like your father. And I wish we would have just gotten to see a little bit more of what his father did with the kingdom that makes everyone say that.
I actually disagree with that again, because I feel like his character is shown throughout the entire movie. When he runs back into that cave to be with the other half of his men that got stuck with the Cyclops.
Totally, yeah.
That is legit all you need to know about his character to understand how much of a good ruler he was back home, because he was universally loved. Everyone loved him. His men would die for him.
Yes.
And that scene alone gives me enough context where I don't even need to know how life was back there, because everyone, I can't say for certain because I don't fully know, but everyone kind of worshipped him as their leader. And, you know, he was kind to dogs. Anyone who's kind to dogs probably has a good heart. And I know that's an oversimplification, but the first thing bro did when he came back to his home was he saw the dog, pets him, dog dies.
Yeah.
That right there just shows his character. And for me personally, I don't need to see flashbacks or anything like that to understand how he ruled, because I already know how he ruled by the way he treats his servants, by the way he treats his dog, by the way he treats his wife, his undying love for his wife, for his son that he's never really gotten to spend time with. I don't need all that other stuff, but I can understand why you need it. But for me, like, I had enough context already.
Yeah, no, I get that. And don't get me wrong, you definitely see Odysseus' character.
Yeah.
And how he ruled. And all that, I agree. For me, I think it just would have brought it a little bit more home for me in that third act, because, like, they low-key kind of just do this, like, I don't want to say this, a little bit of a Marvel movie final battle scene, and it's better than a Marvel movie, or better than most Marvel movies, or whatever.
That's so true, though. That's so true.
But and I know it's about his character, and it's about becoming him and regaining his own kind of sense of self and confidence. I think, and it's about saving his wife and son from all these people. But for me, I think it would have brought something a little more for me. And then one other kind of thing on that note is I wish that we got a little bit more. And I know he didn't really get to spend a lot of time with Telemachus, and Telemachus doesn't remember him really. But I would have liked at least like a scene with him bonding with him as a kid. There is like I said, there's a flashback where he's on the floor playing, but that's all we get. So I would have liked just showing their connection a little more as a kid. And
how old?
I don't take your pick. I don't know.
The only reason I ask is because
3.5.
He was supposed to be gone for like 20 years. So I don't think it would have mattered, because telephone isn't going to remember any of this.
No, but Matt Damon does, and for me, that's what I wanted to see.
You want to see him show bond to his child?
Right, because I want a movie to show me, not tell me, and it told me that he really cared for his son and had like a bond with him, but it didn't show me that. You know?
Fair. That's a good take. I can agree with that.
Those were a couple things I wish were better, and then the telephone storyline. I don't know if we want to hop into that a little bit.
Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit earlier. I just kind of felt like they wasted telephone's usefulness in the entire movie up until basically the third act, when he starts to gain some confidence and like talk some smack to Robert Pattinson. And I thought that was kind of cool. But from what I gathered, bro's supposed to be a warrior. He's an expert archer. You see that whenever he's training, whenever he's shooting birds or whatever with John Bernthal. And you see he knows his stuff. And I thought he was a good fighter. I was listening to someone talk about the Odyssey, and apparently in the actual novel, he's a very skilled fighter and a very skilled diplomat. So seeing him kind of just be a little, not a simp, but just like kind of a weaker man. Yeah. Like, no one's going to respect this type of character being in leadership if this is how he's going to act. But the movie kept kind of contradicting that. Like, he seems smart, but he seems stupid all at the same time. And if anything, his story was just, his entire arc up until the third act was for exposition with John Bernthal, saying this is what happened with your dad, blah, blah, blah. All of that. And he was supposed to be going there under a guise anyways, but everyone knows it's him. So I was like, I thought that was a little goofy. Yeah. And then later on when he's about to die and his dad shows up to save him, he like does absolutely nothing for himself. So his character just felt kind of weak for someone who's supposed to inherit the throne and is way stronger in the novel than he is in the movie. I didn't love his character, but I think Tom Holland played him the best that he could.
I agree. Yeah, again, Tom Holland did great with what he was given. I agree. I think also that really surprised me that in the book he's a skilled fighter because like you see in this final battle Odysseus taking on like 100 guys by himself, and then Tom Holland's like struggling upstairs with one guy who's not even like the biggest dude.
Let me fact check it. Let me fact check this real quick before I say something out of turn because that's what I heard. I could be totally wrong. What is his name?
Telemachus. Telemachus. And I got to preface, guys, I have never read the Odyssey book. I really want to, especially after seeing the movie, but I've never read it. So I'm going in based on kind of what I heard about the story and then seeing the movie. So that's what I'm basing it on. And I think that's like a good perspective of like, you can't expect people to have read the source material to enjoy the movie. So how do you deliver this story to me as someone who's never read it?
So this is what it says. And I think I was wrong, but I still don't agree with what it's saying. Telephone is not physically strong at the beginning of the Odyssey, but he undergoes a massive coming-of-age transformation. By the end of the book, he becomes a brave, capable young man who fights fiercely alongside his father. I don't agree with half of that. I don't think he was a strong man. I think he did grow a little bit, but that was only based on the conversation he had with like Robert Pattinson and kind of stepping up for himself. Yeah. I didn't really see a lot of character development from him. So maybe he wasn't weak in the beginning. Maybe he wasn't strong in the beginning like a fighter, but bro wasn't a strong fighter by the end of the movie, in my opinion.
No. Do you agree with what I'm saying? Like he was struggling with one guy in a room full of weapons.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
I low-key, I wasn't listening to you when I was typing all of that. So if that's what you said, then yeah, bro was getting cooked in there.
Yeah. And it's like Odysseus is downstairs taking on 100 huge dudes. and then Tom Holland is struggling to fight one guy in a room full of weapons. And the dude's not even like some big jacked guy. He's like just a dude. You know, so I don't know. And it's funny that it says in the book he went through this massive coming of age. I don't feel like he went through like a massive coming of age
in the movie.
In the movie at all. Like I feel like he grew some and he learned about his dad and like I don't know. And then like his mom yelled at him a lot.
Yeah. I will say for your point about the final fight feeling kind of like an MCU movie, that was my thought too, and then I started thinking about it a little bit. Bro was straight up blessed by the gods. So in my opinion, Odysseus was not a demigod, but kind of a demigod.
Yeah.
Because he takes that leap of faith, goes out on the raft at the end of the film, magically lands up at, what's the place called?
Ithaca.
Magically ends up at Ithaca. That is supernatural in itself.
Yeah.
And all the stuff about him being cursed and all of his men dying and him being the only one to survive, he was obviously destined to go back to Ithaca. So when he's in that room doing the classic John Wick fight scene and he's clapping, I didn't see him as a man. I didn't see him as John Wick. I saw him as like a Thor type of guy. Maybe not as strong as Thor, but like basically a demigod. And that's how I can rationalize that MCU type. I'm just going to like... You know what I mean? Yeah. So just to counter I want to counter that point earlier because I do understand that. That does make some sense to me.
Well, maybe I didn't say it right. I wasn't saying it as a criticism.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I was just saying like maybe I shouldn't have used MCU, but like it just kind of had like a big final battle, which like Christopher Nolan doesn't always do. So
correct.
I think it does kind of go into like that blockbuster territory, but I don't have a problem with that. And I thought it was good.
Yeah, and I feel like it fits in this movie a lot. Like, there's a lot of blockbusters where it's just like, okay, whatever. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson pops out and freaking Fast and Furious gets hit with 5 crowbars. Vin Diesel pops a Corona over his head, and he's fighting. No way, dog. But I would buy that in this movie just because of the mythicalness and the grandeur of his character.
And you know what, dude? Okay, let's get into something. You know what I love about this movie, bro?
What?
That there's a lot in it that is completely up for interpretation.
Yeah.
Like, when you think about it, in this movie, in this story, you don't actually know for sure that any of these deities or gods they believe in are even real.
That's true, because we don't have like a physical manifestation of any of them. I think the
Any of
closest
them.
we
And
got
no-
was Zendaya, and that was
Yes,
like
but
not
that was
even-
in his head.
that was in his head.
And it-
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's like it's kind of up for interpretation on if that, like when they're on the waters, and he bows and arrows the Cyclops in the eye, which was great, and then pisses him off, and then they're like, that was Poseidon's son, and now Poseidon is has cursed us and wants to kill us, and then like the next scene, the waves are crazy, and all the guys are like, see, Poseidon is judging us. You don't actually know for sure that any of that's even true. It could have been a coincidence, and that's what I like about this.
I kind of agree with that, but I also don't, because this is tough because I understand exactly what you're saying, but as the story progresses, it is very clear that he is the only one destined to survive. Specifically with the whirlpool scene, it happens exactly like the witch said it would happen, and
That's true.
he was cursed because it was his plan to go in and break the unspoken law of Zeus. It was his plan to do that. And that's why he was so heartbroken about going home. And I think it was the fate of the gods for him to be the lone survivor, to have to live with what he caused, which is the whole conflict in his heart, the entire film. So I don't know, actually thinking about it, I don't know if I agree with that take. I think that there was a lot of like spiritual Greek type of stuff going on, even if I do kind of understand with what you're saying.
I think, that prophecy by that guy on the black sand kind of confirms.
I mean,
it.
bro,
didn't
they
think
went
about that.
They straight up went to hell. They went past the sirens, which is extremely Greek mythological. There's a big whirlpool in the middle of the ocean, and then that squid thing comes out. There's like Cyclops.
That's true. Okay, I redact my point. I think they are real. I do appreciate how. I do appreciate that it wasn't like Poseidon showed up. You know what I mean by that?
I can agree. That's what you were trying to get at, and I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get your point there.
Yeah, like it wasn't like you have these like CGI like gods that are showing up. It's like, no, it's kind of just like it's off out there. And I even like there was a line in there that I think is actually a really great metaphor for God that I'm not going to quote it exactly right, but someone is kind of like, are these gods even real? Like, why do they hide themselves from us? And then I forget who says, but someone's like, they don't. I mean, look at the sky, look at the sun shining on us, feel the waves, see the ocean. It's like the gods are doing all this. And I think that's a great metaphor for God in real life of like, I think everyone wrestles with that in their lives of like, man, like I don't see God, all these bad things happen. Like, where's God? Why does God hide himself from us? But it's like, no, God is actually everywhere. He's the one that's causing the wind to blow and the sun to come up and stuff like that. So I just liked the approach to all that, all the Greek mythology and all that stuff.
It didn't feel like there was a hardcore agenda. And I get that point, because usually it leans heavily into like that type of I don't even know, culture. It's not religion, but it's like a completely different type of, what would you call that? Would it be a religion? Am I stupid
like the Greek
here?
Mythology stuff?
Yeah, like mythology. That's not a religion, is it? Is that a religion? I don't even know what to describe that as.
I don't even know, bro. It's kind of just like something that people believe, maybe like a superstition. I don't really know.
I think a big part of it was the fact that Odysseus was constantly challenging it.
Yes.
Like, he didn't even know what he believed in. And I thought that was really interesting, because ultimately, when he shot that Cyclops in the eye, he did it because of his men. And he was pissed off. He was a man. He saw his people die. And they all were like, "You've cursed us, Odysseus. Why would you do that? He was letting us go." And, that's pride and that's arrogance and ego. anger, all of those things. And he's just a human, bro. He's just a human. And he set that whole chain of events in order. And then all of these things just keep happening, and they could be coincidence. They could not, but I don't even know the point I'm trying to make. I think it's cool. I love that arc. And that's why I think that the middle half of the movie, while it's the weakest half of the movie, is the most important part of the movie. You're on this Odyssey with a guy who's made mistakes. He's drowning in pity, in self-hatred for what he did to an entire group of people. He broke the only rule you don't break. And he's paying for it.
Yeah.
And that's freaking awesome. Even if it's slow and even if it's a little boring, I'm all here for it. For it.
Dude, and I love that they gave kind of this world of moral code with Zeus's law. You know?
Yeah.
I just treat someone as if they could be a god in disguise. Like, I just thought that was so cool. It immediately gives this kind of crazy, like, out there story, like, just a moral kind of code, like a grounding of like, this is kind of the common law of the land of how people treat each other.
Yeah.
And then like, it's like horrible when it's broken. Right. And it's like this huge deal.
It's the golden rule, bro.
Yeah, it is the golden rule. And I thought they approached that really cool. And, you know, I thought the theme of this movie that it really gets into in the third act is very similar to Oppenheimer, which I've seen a lot of people talk about online, of the brokenness of man, and like that eventually like mankind crossed the line, right, of breaking that law and of going at war with each other and destroying what's sacred, like what Matt Damon says. And dude, brother, going from the really quiet scene of Odysseus talking to Penelope, bro, to the third act dropping us right into the Trojan War, bro.
Yeah.
Brother, that was my favorite part of the entire movie.
That was so good.
Oh my God. Dropping us into like Odysseus's perspective of the absolute chaos and war that's happening, all the evil unfolding, dude, and the sound design, bro, it got so loud and chaotic. Like, it was so crazy. And then to watch his own men go and, like, kill innocent people and hurt everyone and destroy this completely civilized kingdom and bring it to absolute ruin, and to have to kind of stand by and be a part of that and allow that to happen, and to be a part of the wrong team, you know, to be the people that are breaking that law, and to watch him sacrifice who he is and what is right to save his own son, to save his kingdom, which is why he went in the first place, and to watch him become the bad guy and the way that eats at him, and ultimately becoming the reason why he doesn't feel like he can go home and face like his family and his people, because he knows that he's become the monster. He's become that guy in a way, you know, like,
yeah,
he's a part of that. And dude, that whole sequence leading up to them beheading Zendaya, like, wow.
I was flabbergasted. I really had to lock in on that because I don't think I understood that until after, when we were discussing it. We were doing the post-movie huddle. And
of course.
And I was like, so was Zendaya real? Like, was she a real person? Or, like, was that the god of Athena? Or, like, what happened there? And correct me if I'm wrong, but what I gathered from it was, like, she was the physical manifestation of the chaos that was ensued across Troy. And that young girl that got killed was Zendaya, but also was a random woman, random young girl that he saw gets her throat slit. And now that is the embodiment of what he did to Troy, haunting him.
Yes.
Right?
So it's so crazy that you say that, because we had our post-movie huddle, me and the boys, and had this exact same conversation, and I didn't put that together. Jeremiah did. I thought that she was that Athena. I thought she was
Athena.
like, because Zendaya was Athena. And
Yeah.
then when they kill her, they were killing Athena. Like, that's what I thought. And then Jeremiah helped me to realize the same thing you're saying. And they were saying that because it parallels them beheading her with beheading the statue of Athena.
100%.
That the statue was the god, and that Zendaya was the manifestation of kind of what they did. But I think what you're saying makes more sense, that it's really just the manifestation of
Troy.
everything they did to Troy and all those people.
Yeah, because 100%. And like when they cut off the head, it kind of was the exact same thing as cutting off Zendaya. And that it's the entire collapse of Troy. So I thought that was really cool. And, you know, I liked Zendaya in this. Sorry, I'm going to let it not shake. And, you know, I liked Zendaya in this. I couldn't help see the similarities between her and Dune Part 1 a little bit, of this omniscient figure that you're seeing in flashbacks and stuff. So that I wasn't super impressed with that up until the end of the movie, when I finally locked in and understood why this was all happening, which was probably by design.
Same.
She's probably the only casting I would have changed for that reason. I don't know if we need an A-list actor to do that minor of a role, personally. Give it to someone like up and coming, or someone who's in the industry that's just not as big as her, because you want to give an A-list part to an A-list actor. But that felt more like a B-list, C-list, or even a background character, you know, like a member of the background type part. Like, you get what I'm saying there? That was my complaint with her.
I do feel that, and I would agree, but I had the same exact experience where, you know, I don't know if you heard about this, but the actors have talked about that Zendaya got, like, Christopher Nolan told her after a take she did in this movie that it was perfect, and didn't tell anyone else that at all. Didn't tell Matt Damon, Tom Holland, and Hathaway, no one else. Zendaya got the only perfect from Chris Nolan in this movie. And as I'm watching this movie, I'm like, why? Like, she's not doing a bad job, but this is just very, like you're saying, I feel like I've seen her do this. It's just very ethereal and very like, go this way now. And then, but the reason I don't agree with what you're saying is the look on her face when they were about to behead her, bro. That had to have been the perfect that she got, and he's right.
When you said he gave her a perfect, I pictured that scene.
Yeah.
So you're right. That scene was perfect, and I guess if that was what it was for, then that's what it was for.
I think it was because I think if you didn't have that, you wouldn't have felt the weight of her being his conscience, and you wouldn't have felt the weight of what that scene's trying to say. But that shot was the most important, one of the most important shots in the entire movie, in my opinion, of her face.
Facts. That just, it kind of shows humanity. It doesn't kind of, it is humanity. She is humanity in that moment.
Yeah.
And them slitting her throat is the loss of humanity, all because Odysseus planned this attack. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm still going to make fun of Zendaya because it's Zendaya, even though I like Zendaya, but also make fun of Zendaya. But
right.
I can't. Great point. Great point. I just want to make fun of Zendaya.
No, I feel that. Yeah. What else do we want to highlight? I mean, there's so much.
I got something for you. This was a criticism that some people had, and I was really stewing on it. The music. And I think we discussed this. I don't remember if we did, but correct me if I'm wrong, but we talked about this movie. Did we talk about our predictions for how the music was going to sound for this film?
I don't know if we talked about that.
I may have talked with you, or I may have been talking with someone else. But my thought was like this music. I think I was talking to Ryan. It was someone. I didn't want it to be a crazy score with crazy swells, with no time for caution, with time, with rainy nights in Tallinn. I didn't want any of that in this movie because that's not what this movie is about. The music that is in this movie should complement the movie. The score should complement the movie instead of taking over. And Chris Nolan is known for having the score take over when it needs to, right? When it needs to. Yeah. Some of the best scenes that we have in a Nolan film are when the score takes over and
Yep.
you have a docking sequence, you have the time sequence in Inception, you have all these freaking insane sequences in Tenet where you're just like hearts pounding, you're going insane.
Oppenheimer too.
Oppenheimer too. Can you feel the music or all of that?
Yeah.
I haven't listened to Oppie soundtrack a lot, but when you're watching the movie, you're like, I'm in.
It's pumping, bro. Yes.
This movie didn't have any of that. Personally, I don't think it did. And that's how I wanted it. In our post-movie huddle, people are like, I was a little underwhelmed by the soundtrack. And I sat there and thought about it. I was like, yeah, it doesn't. I think Ryan was talking about how it didn't have any legendary moments or like a theme. Like it didn't have like a Pirates of the Caribbean type of theme. That's one of the things he referenced. And that's just an example, right? But it's not, it's like you leave the theater and you're humming something in your head from the movie. That's like what a lot of people translate a really good score to because you're still thinking about it and stuff. And I'm not saying that they're wrong for that. But this movie, I don't think needed it at all. And I felt like the biggest thing it had going for it was the production or the percussion, the boom boom, the boom boom, and then the sound design. And then the music swelled when it needed to, but it was more like orchestral and like swelled and then came down. It was very flowy with the movie, but it wasn't overpowering. And I want to know your take. What do you think? Do you think the score sucked?
No, definitely not. I think it's what you're saying. It was very complimentary and very restrained.
Yeah.
And I liked it. I thought, well, Chris Nolan mandated Ludwig no strings.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, no strings can be used in the score for this movie, which I actually like that because that would have been really predictable for this kind of movie. This old Greek mythology period piece. You can picture the string music and all that. So I really like that they didn't go that direction and it was actually a rule, like no
That's
strings.
so sick. I love that.
It is sick.
Why? Just to make it sound different?
I think so. I think I don't know why. My guess would be just to not sound predictable. Because in my opinion, that's predictable. That's almost what you would think of. You would think of this old historical epic string pieces, like these pieces of music, but they didn't do that, which I thought was cool. I thought the really special part of this score that was kind of like, you think about like the Tenet theme, or sorry, the Interstellar theme, and just how that it's like so important to the movie. And I don't think this is on the same level as the Interstellar theme, but what's it called? The Song of Sirens?
When they were on the boat?
That's it right there, bro. That's like the Interstellar score, but for this movie, if that makes sense. That do from Interstellar.
Interesting.
To me, this is that song that plays that just immediately gets in your heart, bro. That just hooks you.
I'm excited. I'm gonna lock in on that scene again.
To me, it made me feel immediately, deeply.
I was physically in pain with Matt Damon watching him go through hell.
Yeah.
So I guess I wasn't locked in on the Sirens theme, but that's fair. That's fair. I'm gonna have to go reevaluate. I don't really have a comment on that.
Yeah. So I loved it. Yeah, I don't think it was the best score ever, but it was restrained, and I think that was intentional, and I think it worked.
It didn't need to be the best score ever, and I think people need to be okay with that. I think it was perfect for what it was in this film. That's my take.
Yeah, I would agree. I would definitely agree. Yeah. So I don't know what's your favorite part of this movie? Just off the top of your head, what's one thing about this movie that you're this is my favorite part of the Odyssey?
Great question. I thought it was really, I don't know if this is my favorite part, but I thought it was really interesting that Bro got demoted to watching the ships and then ended up saving his entire crew from being turned into pigs. And she was willing to turn them back. And I guess that's because he had the bird by the neck. But I thought that whole conversation was so interesting because when you're watching it, they aren't coming in there and trying to defile her. They're not trying to steal her food. They're just hungry. And the way she's categorizing them isn't fair. They're not evil. They're just men trying to eat and go home. I thought that was interesting. And then
But
later on in the film, it's revealed that they're pillagers, they're rapers, they're killers, they're horrible. They're horrible. And it really puts into perspective because he knew that. Bro knew that when he was sitting at that table talking to her. Yep. And I didn't know that. And I guess I should have assumed, maybe that's just ignorance on my end, that I didn't expect them to be bad people for pillaging an entire city. And that's why it's hard for me to say the ending's a twist, because obviously that's what happened. It's very clear that that's what happened. But until you hear like the leader of it say that he's mortified by what he's done, you don't really take the weight of it. So her being 100% right for turning them into pigs, because that's what they are, is so valid. It is so valid.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I don't like it, but I also can agree with why you did it. But I feel weird about it. So I thought that was a cool scene.
I thought it was super cool too. It was really disturbing to watch. I was looking down like this, bro. I could not watch.
Yeah, I watched part of it and I was like, nope.
Yeah, dude. But I thought that was really cool how she didn't turn them into pigs, but it just revealed who they are. And then he's like, they just want to go home. And you kind of think in your head that she's the bad guy, which in a way she is. Like, she's definitely not like a great person.
Not good. She's not good.
She's not good. But she's right. And I agree. It's like it does not frame them that way. And then later, that's why that scene is so powerful later, when it drops you right in the middle of the Trojan War and you see him running with his men, and then you see his, like, on your periphery, you see one of his men go and just slash a woman down. And it's like
100%.
Oh, and you're like, she was right.
These are the guys I've been rooting for this whole movie. I've been rooting for these guys to get home, and they're horrible people.
Oh.
And it's because the movie frames them as just a bunch of guys that want to get home. And
but really, Odysseus is that guy.
Yeah, but Odysseus sucks too. Odysseus sucks too, bro.
And I love it.
And that's the moral dilemma. It's like, this is the dilemma, and it's kind of the same thing that Oppenheimer explored. It's like, we're trying so hard to figure out if we can do this. We don't even sit back and question, like, should we do it? How will this change the world if we build the atomic bomb? And then these people over in Ithaca, and where is Benny Safdie from? Is he from Ithaca or is he from a neighboring kingdom?
Yeah, it's a different kingdom.
And Benny Safdie, he's evil, embodiment of evil, and he's like doing this. So and then Matt Damon's like, yeah, maybe we can do this. And then he does it, and he thinks, well, maybe I should have took a step back and thought, should I do it?
Exactly.
It's gonna change everything. It's so interesting, those decisions that are made. So,
and it's heartbreaking because on one hand, Matt Damon kind of had to do it, but on the other hand, it's interesting. He had to do it to save them, but at the same time, he did do it, you know?
Well, he didn't have to step up and elevate it to that point where he's in the Trojan horse. He just had to show up, right? Like, Benny Safdie wasn't holding a Glock to his head saying, come up with this idea, invade Troy with me. He just wanted him as a grunt person, right? Or did he want him as a strategist to get in there? I don't really
I'm not going to lie. I'm not really sure. I think I need a rewatch to know. But, I mean, they do keep saying Odysseus is the smartest guy, and he's the leader. So I would imagine he would want him for that. But also, I could see a world where maybe he just wanted to be grunt, and then Odysseus was like, "But we could do this, and this is how we win."
And that's what I'm thinking of. Is like, he didn't have to do it, but he did. But also, you can be completely right. Maybe he was brought in or hired. Maybe he was hired for that.
I like your version better though, because it's the perfect balance of. He has to be a part of it no matter what, because he's being, Telemachus is being threatened, Ithaca's in a way being threatened, but also, like you said, he didn't have to elevate it to that place, but it's kind of like, well, of course he would, because if he doesn't, they're going to lose, and he's never going to get home. So it's like he doesn't have to, but like, it makes sense why, and it really parallels Oppenheimer, because Oppenheimer's the same thing. He didn't have to do it, but in a way he did, because the Nazis would have done it first if they didn't, but he still did do it. And he still is responsible, you know? So it's
a very interesting thing to think about. It's just the parallels and the way people are and why they do things. And it just shows, I think it really just shows that in life, I don't think there's ever such a thing as black and white. There is so much nuance, like even right and wrong, which are objectively black and white.
Right.
There is so much going on that nobody has any idea about that can impact a decision. So, like, who are we to say that Odysseus was wrong for what he did? We don't have all the facts. We don't know what was going on in his head. But this movie kind of frames it in a way where we kind of get some sympathy for him because we do have a lot of the facts. And it's interesting. That's life, bro. He was a real character, bro. He had a lot of problems. I think he had a lot of ego, a lot of pride. And part of me thinks that he wanted to win Troy and that he thought up that idea because he wanted to be the one who found a way to break in. So I think there's a lot of ego in him too. Like, he didn't have to shoot the guy in the eyeball, the big bro, but he did because he was pissed off and angry. He didn't have to do that, but he did it.
He could have just put his head down and left. Bro.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think of the third act and his approach to coming home? Because I thought it was really cool that he's talking to Darth Vader and the dead version of him. Yeah. And he's like, listen, I went home expecting praise and glory and this big welcome. And, you know, I expected my wife to love me and whatever. And then she ended up just murdering him, right? And he's like, when you go home, you hide, you take your time, you be patient, you come in quietly, right? And then he takes that advice, and instead of coming in as the big hero, he sneaks in the kingdom, right? And he's there for a little while. Like, what did you think of that whole third act sequence?
I think it's very interesting because, one, Dog went home after sacrificing his child and didn't expect there to be repercussions from his wife. Yeah. That's on him, bro. That's on him. He should be, like, divorced by now. He knows what he did. And that's an ego pride thing. So I think that he was speaking out of ignorance because he's nowhere near the man that Odysseus is. So
for sure.
I think that could have been projection from what he experienced. And I'm not saying it's wrong, but I don't think that necessarily would have applied to Odysseus. But I also think it's extremely smart for him to go in and do that. But Odysseus, he didn't want to go home and bask in the glory. I don't even think he would have if bro never said that. Like, don't expect a welcome, go in and be melodic or methodical. I don't think he would have wanted to come home and have this huge welcome because bro didn't deserve it. He didn't feel like he deserved it. He abandoned his wife for almost 10 years, didn't know why, learned he basically cheated on her. That sucks.
Yeah.
And he committed this atrocious sin in pretty much the entire known world. Don't do what he just did at Troy. So he's ashamed of that. So I think it might have been just more of embarrassment than a safety thing, but also just see if his wife loved him. So
yeah,
I think it was a smart approach. I'm just mainly speaking on the fact that he told him to do it for this reason, even though I don't think that reason fully applied to him, because it seemed like everyone kind of respected Odysseus back home, whereas Benny Safdie may not have been respected.
Yeah, I think what I liked about it was a couple things. I felt like it was it wasn't the most predictable route. The most predictable route was that he comes home and like announces himself. But it's like what realistically would have happened if he did do that? All these guys would have tried to murder him for sure because they want the kingdom. They want Penelope, and he's going to stand in the way of that. And he's smart, right? So like you're saying, like he's smarter than just to do that. Like, and it really shows that with him approaching it in that way of, no, I'm going to sneak in and I'm going to take my time. I'm going to figure out what's going on and figure out a plan. And that's really cool. I kind of interpreted that scene a little bit differently when Darth Vader's talking to him. I kind of interpreted it as like, well, yes, they're very different people and the situation is very different. I kind of took it as this like wisdom from the dead. Like even from a really bad, evil, horrible person like him, there's still like a wisdom in like, don't do what I did. And I don't know. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was like, I didn't expect that. I expected the movie to really build to him coming home because the movie did build for a long time. But like you're saying, it kind of ends up, it's not about him. It's not about like the arrival. It's about his character, right? And this whole Odyssey of coming home is really a character exploration and a journey of him as a man, not just him like on a map trying to get home. And I thought that was cool that it follows his character who's ashamed and wanted to see if his wife still loved him, right? Wanted to see if his son cared. And I thought that was cool. I will say, though, I liked that he saw the dog and the dog got excited because the dog's been waiting for him and the dog recognized him and then the dog died. I like that. I felt like the scene where Tom Holland like realizes it's him, I just felt like it was lacking.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was they had a lot to cover in that third act. And
but to me that's like
a big deal. It's a huge deal.
A huge deal. That's like the reunion between him and the reunion between him and his wife should be like, in my opinion, some of the most emotional, impactful, most memorable scenes in the movie. For me, just because I feel like it's building towards that, like the entire movie. And I don't know, it's kind of like, you're him, you're my dad. And it wasn't, I think he had some tears in his eyes, but it wasn't like he was crying. And Odysseus wasn't really emotional about it. He's like, kind of just like, he's smart about it. Like, don't make a big deal and let everyone know who I am. But I also feel like there could have been more of a payoff.
I think I was going to agree with you, but then I started thinking about it because I had this thought. I don't think a 3-year-old child, I don't think a however old bro is, who remembers his dad from 3 years old or whenever, needs to have a huge reaction to that because he doesn't know him at all. This dude's basically a stranger to him. He probably doesn't even think he's coming home. He's like, yeah, dad's coming home. I feel it in my bones. But like, that's just wishful thinking. And maybe he really did feel it. But I don't think there needed to be a huge, grandiose arrival, especially since Odysseus was trying to keep it under wraps. So it kind of made sense to me. Like, imagine you have this uncle, right, that you don't know. And you like, yeah, he came when you were a baby, saw you a couple times. He's coming next week. It's been 25 years. You have like zero emotional connection to this guy. And let's say they hype him up. Your dad's hyping him up. Like, this dude's so sick. He's so awesome. There's like a lot of expectation there about this guy. But you don't know him, so when you meet him, like, 1, you're starstruck, and 2, you know you can't, like, be homies with him because we're in, like, this weird secret thing going on. But 3, you just don't know him at all. Does that make any sense, what I'm saying there?
It does. And honestly, that's a good point about the son's side of it. I do wish from Odysseus' side of it, at least, that there was more. You know, just like, I don't know, like you finally get to see your son for the first time in 20 years since he was a little kid. This whole entire journey has been about getting to him and your wife. They're the reason you went and did this in the first place. I just expect a little more than like, yeah, keep your voice down. I'm your dad.
Yeah.
From a dad's
No,
perspective.
I get it. That makes sense. But I'm also going to say bro is filled with so much shame and embarrassment. And he's not even sure if his wife still loves him. So he's also trying to be secretive. So I can understand that perspective of him just being kind of chill and vibey with it. But I also can understand the father longing to get home to see the two people he left. So I think it's 50-50 on that.
Yeah.
I can't advocate either way. I understand both of them.
I feel that. Yeah. For me, those are just a couple things that I felt like lacked. But I mean, again, there was so much in this movie that was just awesome. I mean, I loved watching Matt Damon's journey. I mean, that his acting during the Song of Sirens, I think that right there is like maybe the best acting Matt Damon's ever done. I mean, that was great.
Oh wow!
And
wow.
I mean, I don't know. What do you compare that to? Like, what competes with that scene? Like you said, you could barely watch. It was
The Martian, bro. Something of him in The Martian, bro. He killed it in The Martian. And there's like scenes when the scene when bro's being sent up into space at the very end, and he's tweaking out and he can't control himself and he's crying and he's about to go home.
I never rewatched The Martian.
That scene alone, I can picture him tweaking out. I'm not saying it's like a Matthew McConaughey in front of the TV screen level, but that's what I'm comparing it to. Yeah. That scene is like Matt Damon almost at his finest.
Would you say it was better than this scene?
I've only seen this scene once. Every time I see The Martian, I'm like, oh, that scene hits. So I got to reevaluate. I'm going to do a quadruple review of the Odyssey, get the first 15 minutes in, and then lock in on the siren scene. You seem to love that scene.
I love it, dude. I think it's just really pay attention to just like how the music makes you feel.
Yeah.
And I think he is narrating over it too. And
he is.
It's
He's
really
talking about what just happened.
And you see like the women off on the cliff that are kind of like a temptation that like that one guy like leaves the ship and goes after.
Yeah.
Right? And then you see that like you think that it's about like that the song is representing that temptation, but for Odysseus it's not. It's representing like what has happened and his regret and all that. And I thought it was really powerful. That was a great scene. One of the best scenes in the movie for me. I think my favorite scene / sequence is just that third act drop right into the Trojan War, that needle drop with them. I don't know. In my theater, the music was so loud in that scene that it was like overwhelming, like Tenet level of overwhelming, but in a really great way. Yeah.
No, that's so fair. I think my theater, we had a phenomenal experience in the third act whenever Odysseus strung the bow. And he started just like destroying all of them. I think whenever that first arrow went into dude's throat, there was like claps and people were like, "Get him, bro!" That was I haven't had a theater like that in a while, so that was so sick to hear people geeking out over him, ready to destroy these suitors. Oh, it was so good.
I'm so glad you just reminded me of that scene, bro. Oh my gosh, bro! All those men trying, failing, they can't get it, bro. And Odysseus is doing it. And it's like hard and it like takes him some time. And for a second, you're kind of like, does he still got it? Like, is he gonna get it, bro? And then when he does it, and he strings that bow, and this score like swells to that note.
Cinema, absolute cinema, bro.
I'm ascending, brother. Yeah,
and I didn't notice this, but I think Tristan told me that Telephone was the only one to get closer than anyone else. I don't know if you noticed that.
Oh.
So I definitely think that he's blessed by the gods, because I think that's like, I think he will only ever be the only person to do it until Odysseus dies, and then he'll be able to string the bow.
Yeah,
but
dude.
It's definitely spiritual that he can do that.
Okay, what'd you think of the ending?
I'm thinking, was that when he gets on the boat and sails away?
Yeah, it sets it up like Odysseus is going to die. And he's saying goodbye to his wife. And
Yeah,
then
I'm not gonna lie. The ending kind of confused me. I need to go back in and lock back in. But honestly, I was kind of overwhelmed by the song at the end with James Blake, Travis Scott, and Ludwig. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
Straight up.
No, it was fire. Did you like the song at the end?
I only heard a little bit. I had to pee so bad. I got out there quick.
I was not reflecting on the movie that much. I was listening to the song, and anytime James Blake comes on with rap production, ascend. You need to listen to the song. It's the last song on the Odyssey soundtrack.
I'll listen to it.
It hits, but I need to go watch that scene again because low-key I was a little confused. Like, are they sailing away to go live somewhere else? I still was telephone the boss or something? I was confused.
Brother, it's a direct payoff from the first 15 minutes. And you missed it.
Dog. Okay.
Do you want me to explain it?
No,
I don't want to spoil it.
Don't spoil it. I want to lock in.
I'll just say that the way they kind of set up his death, when it seemed like he was dying, I was pretty disappointed. I was like,
yeah,
it makes sense, but I also felt like all this for him to just see his wife and kid once die. And then for it to actually be that they're going to sail away and their happy ending, and Telemachus is now going to be king. Again, I didn't think Telemachus being king was as satisfying as it should have been. I didn't think it was super earned. But the way, I'll just say this, I won't spoil it, but the way it parallels the first act and uses a shot from the beginning of the movie, and you don't realize in the beginning of the movie when they show that movie that it's the ending of the movie. That's all I'm going to say.
Buddy, I'm ready.
There's a shot that they use, and you do not realize at all that it's from the ending until it plays again at the ending, and you're like, wow.
Yeah, bet. Well, I'm gonna have to rewatch. That might be just where we cap this entire review because I think we're both gonna go rewatch it and maybe have some like extra thoughts. Maybe not an entire. What has this been? An hour, 41 minutes, but like we should definitely discuss the Odyssey again after we watch it one or two more times.
100% agree. I can't wait to watch this again because again, it's long.
Yeah,
it's a 3-hour movie. It's a lot to unpack. Real quick, Colt. Where does this rank for you in Christopher Nolan's filmography?
It's a great question. One, I'm going to drop it from an 8.5 to an 8.9 to an 8.5. That's where I'm going to solidify it as.
Okay.
I think we discussed a few things that, like, it can't be a 9 for me. It just can't be close to there. 8.5 is good enough. And I think the biggest reason is basically Oppenheimer felt like a film. This felt more of like a blockbuster movie. And they are not one and the same. And I'm not saying one is better than the other, but I left with a lot more from Oppenheimer. So that's why I'm giving this one an 8.5. Oppie's like a 9.5. It might be a 10.
Yeah. Agreed.
But let me go look because I do have my Chris Nolan rankings. I gotta go check this bad boy out because I don't even remember what my list was.
Real quick, I'll drop my my ranking.
Caleb, drop yours, kind sir.
So here's my top 3 Christopher Nolan movies after seeing The Odyssey. Number 1, first place, you got Interstellar. It's Interstellar.
Classy.
And I don't know if Nolan will ever top it, but I would love to see that. Number 2, still Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer is a masterpiece. It's just, I wish more people talked about this movie because it is incredible. At number 3, The Odyssey. The Odyssey is out of, and again, I need to see more Christopher Nolan movies, but out of the ones I've seen, it's the third best. It's in the top 3, but it's at the back, like it's at the last place of top 3. It is a great movie. The craft of the movie is absolutely insane, and it has really great stuff emotionally and really great story, and it is so epic and immersive And, there's some problems with some of the main characters. There's, for me, I wish I was shown a little bit more instead of told. But it's still an amazing movie. So, The Odyssey, third favorite Christopher Nolan movie.
I respect you, bro.
Give me yours.
So, I think I'm low-key going to have to keep it pretty much exactly the same. I honestly want to rewatch my top 5 and see where they all rank together, because I just need to do some assessing. But my order was this. It was Memento in number 1, Interstellar number 2, and then Prestige in number 3, with Oppenheimer and Tenet as tied for number 4 for different reasons. But I think I might live update my ranking to Oppenheimer above the Prestige in the 3rd place. And then Tenet, I think I'm just going to give Tenet the honorable mention in every ranking. I can't put it on the top 5, top 3, but it always needs to be in my conversation just because of where it holds in my heart. And honestly, dog, I think Oppie might jump above Interstellar. I think so.
What?
I think
Brother,
so.
What?
I know, and I love me some Interstellar, but I'm seeing this list, and I was just glazing Oppenheimer. Or I need to move Memento around. But the love I have for these films, like The Prestige is the only one I can adequately move around, and I love The Prestige.
Yeah.
So that's it's all over the place.
Oppenheimer above Interstellar is crazy.
To answer your question, though, I think Odyssey is probably in number 5.
Okay.
And it was a masterpiece in terms of what filmmaking can do. It looked gorgeous. It sounded gorgeous. I loved the story. I loved so much of it. There were a few things to be desired, and I think that's why it's not in my top 3 or even top 4, but I think I can give it top 5. And that might change when I watch it again, bruh. I didn't have a good experience. Low-key, I was stressed. I was so stressed about getting in that freaking theater, bro. I've never been that late to a movie in my life.
And you call yourself a film bro.
I do call myself a film bro. I cooked myself. Taco Bell cooked me. Why would you do that, Taco Bell? You're not getting any brand deals in the future.
No. Yes, you will. Please. Taco Bell, please sponsor us.
Bro.
We love you.
No,
I had
sorry,
Taco Bell
dog.
2 days ago. I had that boy. I had those boy.
I hope you know I'm censoring all of that in post.
You're gonna place
Sorry,
with like
dog.
McDonald's food or
No,
something?
I'm just gonna put a black bar on the screen with the bars in tone. We don't like Taco Bell here on this podcast. I'm just saying it. Number 1.
I love you, Taco Bell.
Whatever,
I don't
bro.
care if you have the diarrhea parasite. I'll eat you up.
I'm not talking about how the food tastes. I'm just talking about you making me miss my freaking Oppenheimer experience. I'll name drop the
Oppenheimer?
location. Oof, that's embarrassing. That's how annoyed I am right now. Sorry, the Odyssey.
And you call yourself a film bro.
That's it. I'm going to kill myself. Caleb, is that all we got? Is that all we got, dog?
No, Cole's going to kill himself. The podcast
Amen.
will continue. The podcast will return in Avengers Doomsday.
Are you gonna bring him back in Doomsday? Dang it, you beat me to it. You're gonna bring
We're
him
going to
back
bring you
in
back in Doomsday. You're going to
bring me
a
back as an
multiverse
AI?
version of you.
Can you do a Bitmoji version of me?
Ooh, I don't know if we have the rights to Bitmoji to do that, but we could do like a disgusting AI version of you.
Do that. We'll have Ryan cook it up because he knows so much about grok.
Okay, bro, that sounds good to me. Yeah, I mean, that's our Odyssey review, bro. We got to experience the Odyssey.
Yep.
In our top 3 most anticipated movies of the year. Can I ask you this real quick before we sign off here? Where does it land in like your favorite movies of the year so far of 2026?
Oh, buddy. Are we counting Marty Supreme? Or was that last year?
No, that was Christmas Day. Marty Supreme, Christmas Day.
That's funny. But is that gonna be included in this year's batch of Oscars? Or it already lost, didn't it? That's right.
It already lost.
So it already lost. I loved Marty Supreme. I thought it was really funny, but that's nowhere on this caliber. I was just wondering so I could think about it. I don't even know why I asked because it wasn't going to rank up there. But name some movies that have came out because I'm kind
Project
of
Hail Mary, Obsession, which I know you liked Obsession, Backrooms. You had The Mandalorian and Grogu, the best movie of all time.
Shout out
what
Ryan.
Else came out? That's all I can think of off the top of my head. You had like Toy Story 5, but I don't think you've seen that. I haven't seen it either.
I would say
Disclosure Day.
My room. I'll say I think Obsession is number 1.
Over Project Hail Mary?
Project Hail Mary is number 2. Odyssey's number 3 right now.
Okay.
I think Obsession is just too good for a breakout film for everything that movie's accomplished. And Project Hail Mary was such an anticipated movie for me the second I finished the book that how they delivered with Rocky exceeded my expectations. Amaze. Oh, check this out, bro.
Let me see it, bro. You got a Rocky pin?
Amaze.
Bro,
so
beautiful.
I loved that movie a lot, and that holds a special place in my heart. So I'm going to say right now it's ranking above Odyssey because it was perfectly executed. But the Odyssey was pretty fire. What about you, Chief?
Yeah, I would say my favorite movie so far of 2026, number 1 would be Project Hail Mary. I love that movie. We saw it together.
Yeah, we did.
It was glorious. I thought that movie was awesome. I would say number 2 would probably be The Odyssey.
Great.
And number 3, man, I don't even know what number 3 would be.
Minions and Monsters. Minions and Monsters.
I don't even have a number 3. I mean, Mandalorian, Disclosure Day.
Okay, I thought you were about to say
Supergirl.
Mandalorian and Grogu is top 3. No.
I'm saying like there was a lot of bad movies so far, and none I can think of even really compare to these movies. So I'm gonna reserve that third spot. But do you think Spider-Man is gonna be better than The Odyssey?
Yes.
Agreed. Do you think Doomsday? Or no, say what you're gonna say.
That was a quick yes because I genuinely think that Spider-Man's going to be one of the best Spider-Man we've ever seen on screen.
Agreed. Do you think Doomsday is going to be better than The Odyssey?
Hot take. This is the film bro of me coming out. You're not going to like this, dog.
Let me hear it.
If I was allowed to curse on this podcast, I would have some words. But
you're not allowed to.
I don't care about Doomsday at all.
I care about Doomsday.
He said it, folks. He said the line. He's canceled. He has no home.
Me. Here's the thing.
I don't care about it. Spider-Man's the only one I care about. I don't care.
Why? Why don't you care?
Because I haven't cared about Marvel for since Endgame.
Why?
I haven't. Bro, zero interest.
Why?
Shang-Chi. The Eternals.
Not only did you first name the Asian movie, second off, you said his name completely wrong, which would offend all of the Asians.
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
Captain America: Brand New Day.
Brave New World, and so you're choosing the Asian and the black, and you can't even get the name right.
Yo, I'm cooked for that one. Brave New World, bro. No. Quantumania.
Oh, with Jonathan Majors, the black guy.
Do I need to keep naming horrible Marvel movies that have come out that have not been influential in any sense of the MCU?
Name one more.
When did Multiverse of Madness drop?
2022.
Oh my goodness, it's like that came after Endgame. Garbage. Thor: Love and Thunder. You're not. This isn't helping your case. I have zero interest in anything aside from Spider-Man. If they can bring something back in Spider-Man, the Venom movies, I was more interested in. I'm not kidding. I saw all 3 of those in theaters, and I loved every second of The Last Dance, and it was garbage. That's saying a lot. That is saying a lot that I liked it more. So I think you deep in your heart, you understand why I don't care about Marvel right now.
No, I 100% understand. Not even deep in my heart, on the freaking edge of my heart.
So Doomsday, I genuinely don't have that on my radar. I'm going to watch it with you because we're doing this now. But if we weren't like doing podcasts and stuff, I probably wouldn't watch it. That's how little I care.
Let me say this real quick. I completely understand why you don't care about Marvel. I agree. For the most part, Marvel has put out garbage since Endgame. With exceptions, there has been actually a lot of peak that they've dropped, but way more mid to garbage projects. But I'm very involved with the behind the scenes news of it. Not that I'm not saying I know anyone involved. I'm just saying I read a lot of the news, and they've completely restructured because of this problem of putting out very rushed garbage content. And I have hope. I care about Doomsday. I never said I was confident about Doomsday.
Okay, fair. Fair.
I hope and I care, but I'm not like, oh, Doomsday's going to be peak. I hope it's peak, but it could also be really bad.
Yeah.
So I think
the Russo brothers doing it?
The Russo brothers are doing it.
Okay, I have a little bit more hope. And
the same writers who wrote Endgame, Infinity War, all of that.
I'll take it. it. That's giving me some hope.
So I'm going to I would love to say I think there is a chance I will like Doomsday more. I don't know if Doomsday will be like a better movie overall.
Yeah.
But,
I just think we've kind of hit peak. We've just kind of hit peak, bro, with Endgame. And basically with Infinity War, we kind of hit peak. So I don't know how they're going to get out of this slump, but maybe Spider-Man can save them.
Do you think Dune Part 3 will be better than the Odyssey?
Yeah. I want to say yeah, but that's also really hard because I'm fresh off Odyssey bias. I need to rewatch the Odyssey in IMAX, and then I need to rewatch the Dune 3 trailer because low-key, when we watched it on the pod, I don't think I was fully locked in. So that's something I need to like see in a theater. I think when I see the Dune, I probably missed the Dune trailer because I was at freaking Taco Bell. But when I go see Odyssey again, I bet you I'll see Dune trailer, and I'll have a better response for you on the next episode.
Cool. I think the Odyssey will be better than Dune Part 3. That's what I think.
Bro, Denis never failed. Denis has never failed, and I don't expect him to start now.
No, I agree. I just, again, I'm not into Dune like that. I think they're really good, well-made movies, but I don't think they're like anything to write home about. Might be a hot take. So
that is a hot take.
For me, I think the Odyssey will clear Dune. But hey, I would love to be surprised, you know?
Yeah.
I would love to love... I want to love movies that come out. So I would love to love Dune Part 3. So...
Facts.
Cool. Well, just wanted to kind of put some feelers out on how we think this will stack up with the rest of what's coming out this year. But anyways, guys, that has been our Odyssey review. We dressed up for this.
Oh, yeah.
We've been wearing suits in our bedrooms and living rooms with our Funko Pops for 2 hours to talk about Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. And I wouldn't change a thing, Cole, would you?
I wouldn't change a thing either. Wonderful experience. Wonderful experience.
Agreed. Well, thanks, everyone. If you stuck it out this long, we appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube, comment, like. It really helps out everything. Follow us on social media on Instagram at RealFriendsPodcast_ and TikTok and Facebook.
LinkedIn,
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Indeed. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Don't forget to hit the bell.
Hit the bell.
Hit the bell. Hit the bell. Unless you have better things to do, then don't. But I want you to hit the bell.
Exactly. And listen, thank you so much for watching our Odyssey review.
Yes.
And thanks for being a real friend. We'll talk to you next time. See ya.
All right. See ya, Caleb.